Beardy Blocks.
Hello, I'm Beardy Blocks. Welcome back. Now, I do apologise for the really poor video quality here, but I'm not running with my capture card at the minute. It's just not possible. And it's on my PlayStation. So yeah, we're just going to have to make do with crap video quality. And yeah, I just don't have a lot of time at the minute. When you look at that chicken coop video, that took me bloody day and a half, more than that, to put together. And I just, I really just don't have that time on my hands at the minute. It's either make videos or play games. And being as I'm a gamer who makes video content, you know, you need both, you know, and I've just been prioritising things. So I'm not doing a lot of gaming at the minute. But then I'll try and keep on making videos. So I thought what we could do is start doing review videos on other people's builds and focusing mainly on mansions. I think mansions are something quite good that you can, there's lots of elements of a mansion that you can pick on. And as I don't want to seem mean, I am going to be highly critical of the mansions that I do review. Not going to be mean, I'm going to be giving the classic turd sandwich, you know, compliment followed by a dig, followed by a compliment. And I thought that fair's fair, you know. I will get Beardy's mansion up on the podium to start off with, and give this one its brutal review. But there are things here. I mean, it is a nice mansion. There's no two ways about it. It's a nice mansion, but there are certain elements here that I feel don't make particular sense, and we'll be going through some of them and what was right and what was wrong. And then at the end, I'll try and give it a score out of 10. Now, please do remember, all of this is subjective. And if I get to the end of this and give this a 3, I'm not going to. It's higher than a 3. It's higher than a 3. But it's substantially less than a 10. That's the important thing. But yeah, so if I get to the end of it and you think, oh God, what would I be rated at? I would be probably a 2 or something like that. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Don't let it dent your confidence. I am deliberately going to be harsh because this series is called Quest for the Best. So you know we are looking for the very, very best. And I personally, I don't know whether I've even seen a level 10 before. So and I've never built a 10. So don't worry about it. But let's get started. So yeah. First category I think we should look at is exterior. Now, let's be honest, this has a pretty nice exterior. Now, there's certain things that when you're building a mansion like this, you need to give it sort of structural rigidity. Because I know in a game where it doesn't have any gravity or anything like that, or most blocks don't experience gravity, it seems a bit silly. But the thing is, if you're trying to build something that's realistic, you're going to have to, you know, you're mimicking things that are from a world that does have gravity. So you want to take it into account and always use a more stable structure on the bottom than you do on the top. So as you can see, all the bases of this entire building, if I get a move on really, I'll get around the back here. As you can see, all the bases are all on the sort of on the platform, on the foundations, and then everything else, the lighter material, the wood, is all stacked on top of that, and it really works. But then with certain things with this build, I do think it didn't make sense at all. Like this, I mean, this build's Achilles heel. Really, there's certain things that don't make sense, and I feel there was a few misbeats inside. But we'll talk about them. We'll talk about them in a moment. But this makes absolutely no sense whatsoever. Okay, the top bit, I can understand this, but then what the hell is this down here? It just makes no sense. It makes no sense. There should have probably been a pool or something. And down here, what was going on? What was going on? You just wouldn't see this in a house. And I don't know, maybe I'm being overly critical on this, but I just think this is silly. This is silly. I could have done better out of this. I shouldn't have done this waterfall coming off here. I should have done a veranda here, so got rid of all that crap. And maybe gotten away with some of this down here, but this water feature is just way over the top and doesn't really suit the build. So that's one of my first critiques of this place. And one of my second critiques of these, I don't feel these make much sense. I feel there's too much trees on top. Well, I say there's too much trees on top. The purpose of these two towers on the sides was to frame the build. So I wanted to frame it, but I don't know. I don't know whether they look particularly stable. I think I've forgotten my rule that we were talking about before, where you keep everything stable, and I feel it's these side things that give it that kind of unreal sort of thing. But they do frame the build. They do frame the build, so I wouldn't knock too many points off. But what I could have done with this is to make this build look a little better, because this is the other thing I was going to say where this one fails, is it doesn't fit into the scenery very well. It's a bit sort of like boom, when all of a sudden you've got this massive mansion. Now, what this would benefit from is, even if the path came out to where I am here, and then custom trees like this, just ringing the outside, just to make it so that when you're sort of stood here, all you'd be able to see around these peripherals, around the sides here, would be these nice custom trees like these, like a forest going around the outside. And what it would do is it would just clean the slate around the outside. It's almost like putting a frame around the picture. And I suppose some of these, that's what these are for, you know, you're framing it. But this, it would just separate it from the rest of the world. If I put a forest around the outside, and that was the next task, but yeah, never got around to it. But yeah, aside from that, I quite like the exterior of this place. As you can see, I've given it a lot of depth. We're going to go a bit further in and look at the, we'll come and look at the garden in a sec. But as you can see, I've given it a lot of sort of details. I think I could have probably gone a little bit more on the roofs, maybe. I don't know. No, to be honest with you, I think it's nice. I can't really. One thing I will say though, there's a few of these chimneys that don't entirely match up. There'd be some funky chimneys going on in this, because if you look, I've got where is it? It's back there. There's a fire back there. So there it is. And yeah, there it is. I did end up putting that one in. And where's the other one? There's another one on the floor below. So this chimney would have had to like curled around the outside, down the level, and then into that fire over there. And it just doesn't, it didn't work. But yeah, and then these bits as well. Yeah, they do work. I just, these towers, the problem is when you see the insides are really beautiful, and these towers are just so sparse. I feel like this is one of my unfinished areas that I try not to even look at. But then aside from that, I think exterior is pretty nice in terms of structure. Now, let's move our attention to this garden, shall we? Because I was really chuffed with how this turned out. So yeah, I mean, I went through a lot of trouble here. So you can see where I've gone to every single block here. This is a sort of level 10 garden, I would say. This is one of the few areas of my build that I would say go to a level 10. It's just really nice. It's got loads of detail. I hate these gardens where it's just like this all the way through. You've just got lawn everywhere. It just looks so monotonous. And when you look at how beautiful a garden can be, it just really works. And there's so many bits of this that I really like. I love this sort of raised bed type thing, this sort of gully on the side of these beds. That really works. And there's a few other bits and bobs in here that I really think work. This sunken path just works really nice. And yeah, you can see I've just gone to every little sort of, it's like a quiet little reading corner type thing. This was a bit treacherous, but I still think it works really. It's a nice little, and it just makes the garden a place that you can explore as well. It's not just something you look at, you can actually just go and wander and explore. And that's what I love about this garden. I really do love it. More of these raised beds. This is the first one I put in where I discovered, this really works. So I went with it. More little wilderness areas. Yeah, here's another parrot cage. I feel a bit tight that some parrots are allowed to sit out on perches. Yeah, the other parrots are in here caged. These are probably the baby parrots, just learning the ropes from the older ones, I think. But yeah, another little sort of conversation corner or whatever you call them. A bit of a dangerous one, I believe. You can just walk straight over the fire. But yeah, then that's pretty much it in the garden. But one thing I will say that this place is kind of lacking, but I'm gonna let it slip, is the lack of redstone. Well, I'm letting it slip. First, I didn't know redstone at the time, which a lot of people who do these sort of builds, we don't really often do redstone. I find it's quite unique to. That's why I really wanted to use redstone, because there's not really a lot of people doing it. But this place does have, redstone going on. I mean, this is a T flip-flop door. Classic T flip-flop door with a pressure pad on there. So I mean, it does have redstone in there, and there's a bit more redstone upstairs as well. And just if you're doing a small build like this, them simple sort of redstone things, I do feel kind of suit this sort of build. even though electricity wouldn't have been available at these sort of times, it is quite nice putting them things on. And I think drawberry bridges and stuff like that always work in these sort of builds. But yeah, I would now that I've no redstone. I think when I'm doing builds and stuff, when I'm doing a review on a build, I am going to be very biased. If it doesn't have even a little bit of redstone, I think I'm going to be a little bit disappointed. But yeah, no, let's go check out the interior. And as you can see, the level of detail from the garden does continue into the inside. Now, certain bits of this that I was a little bit concerned they don't make sense. Like that's a lot of leaf that I've used in here, but I do like to use leaf as masking. I mean, I think I've maybe spoken about it in previous videos where I do like to use it to cover up bits that I wasn't entirely happy with. And it's just, I know a lot of you don't often go into people's houses and there's loads of like bush growing in the ceiling. But they could make it happen if they wanted to. You could put like plant boxes up there. If there was enough natural light coming in there and stuff and you treat it right, I'm sure you could get bushes growing inside and it would look amazing. It would look amazing. But yeah, and some things like this doesn't really make sense, does it? I could have done with making a pot around that or something. But yeah, there's very few missed tricks in here though. I think overall, in terms of detail, main entrance, I really captured it. It's a nice grand main entrance. You come in and it's boom. Yeah, it's nice. But yeah, we'll go check out the first of the rooms. And yeah, and I have to say, continued it in here. It's a nice fireplace, nice detailing, and it suits the build as well. I find with a lot of builds that I've seen online, you've got these really classic exteriors, and then you come inside and it doesn't have a classic interior. They've gone with a lot of modern sort of stuff, and there are bits of this where I've kind of gone where I've done exactly that. And I was kind of disappointed with myself. But yeah, and a quick look at the kitchen while we're here. Yeah, and the kitchen. This is one of my favourite places. Went to real detail in the utility areas. And yeah, and I really appreciate this. This sort of thing I would be looking at when I review somebody's build. You know, when I go into a cupboard or something like that, you know, a walk-in wardrobe or something, I want it to feel like a walk-in wardrobe, and I want a kitchen to feel like a kitchen, or a laundry room to feel like a laundry room. I don't want it to, you know, I look at everything like that, you know. When I saw this kitchen as quite an important one, and I'm glad at how good it turned out, because I'm really, really glad actually. It turned out lovely. But yeah, so we're going to move out here. So yeah, which room we're in now? We're going to carry on with the bottom floor. There's no need to look up there. It's all crap. Well, I say there's no need to look up there. We would do in a review, wouldn't we? But then, yeah, this is the sort of point I'd be like, yeah, what's going on here? Bare glowstone, what are you doing? Yeah, and then, oh, let me go up here. Up there's up to the tower, which is not even worth looking at. But yeah, and then in here, I'd just be like, yeah, I don't get it. No, I don't get it. I don't get it. This is well worth a bit of criticism, this. Just doesn't make any sense. And maybe what this should have been, there should have been some way up to the floor above. I should have probably made these not wood, made it look like something that could possibly support a huge oak and like several large sort of conifers or whatever they are. And yeah, then it would have maybe looked all right. But as it is, it just looks silly. Yeah, and that would have been points marked down. Or that is points marked down, because we are going to do a score. Yeah, so let's carry on with where we are. Why did I do that? I can't believe I did that. I'm usually so anal about these things. I don't usually leave glowstone bare. I don't know what I was thinking. But yeah, I don't usually leave glowstone bare. But yeah, moving on. Yeah, this was, as I said, this is my first ever build on Total Creative Mode. And yeah, TV room. Another one. Yeah, does it really suit the build? You know, does it really suit it? But I suppose, you know, these sort of houses, well, you don't often see houses like this, do you? There's not many elven style houses about. They are a sort of underused architectural style. But then, but yeah, with this build, I do feel that this doesn't really suit it. I don't know. You tell me if I'm being too harsh in the comment section, but I feel this is one of the rooms that would deduct a few points. You know, I don't know what else would I do in here. You get a bit struggle with these sort of things. I say I'm not going to deduct points for this. This is good. This is excellent. It's 10 out of 10. I'm not deducting points for this, because if you start deducting points, you know, for them sort of things, you just don't know what to fill the rooms with, and you end up with loads of living rooms. But yeah, so here we go. This room works. This is definitely a good room. I don't know whether I should have used quite so many buttons. There's a lot of buttons. But yeah, it looks nice. I love these. These are one of my favourite. That's a shulker box in the back there. Just the spiral back to a shulker box. So what would happen there? I would have placed a block here, gone on the other side of the wall, placed a shulker box facing that way, and kind of removed the block. Then you're faced with what would be that's the bottom of a shulker box. But yeah, they look really pretty. But yeah, moving on. Another room that doesn't really make sense, but the furniture's so nice, it does work. And then I say it doesn't make sense. Does it? Tell me in the comment section. But I suppose it does, because a mansion like this would have a library. And if you then moved into it in a modern age, you would put all this crap in there. So yeah, let's just give this the benefit of the doubt. Yeah, and then an enchantment room, and I would have probably given credit for this, just making the fact that it does have a working enchantment room. All right, the rest of the build doesn't have any sort of like farms or anything else like that. Brewing stands or anything like that. So it's a bit lacking in that room. I don't know, you can tell that I was struggling to fill space, so I just filled it with that. Yeah, the bar. All right, yeah, I suppose maybe you'd have a little private tavern in your mansion in the days of old, or in your elven sort of fantasy worlds. Yeah, we'll let this one slide again. And there's a lot of furniture in here for context. Yeah, we'll give it a 10 just on these lovely stools. I can't even remember where I saw these, but yeah, these are lovely stool designs. But yeah, moving on. Okay, so next we're going upstairs, aren't we? So heading on up. Oh, and now we've got the worst floor. Now I'd be kind of like, what the hell is going on in here? Yeah, it's just such a weird floor. Such a weird floor. This is like, I don't know, is this a trophy room type thing? I don't know. Yeah, I was really, really gutted with this. But this is what I mean. Because I'd already done a TV room, I didn't want to do another TV room. But if I didn't do a TV room, then that room down there with the TV in would have just been another room like this. So yeah, I'm gonna let the TV room slide. But yeah, moving on. Oh, there we go. We go up here. But yeah, moving up to the second floor. Now this is the bit that goes out over to that other nonsensical tower on the side there. But yeah, I mean, these towers, yeah, as I said, would have looked a lot better if I put ruined walls going out the sides, so that this looked like it was sort of a mansion that was preserved from the ruins of a larger sort of build, a larger castle. Yeah, then it would look quite cool actually. And maybe one day I should come back and do some work on this build. But being as PlayStation and move to smelly old bedrock, I don't really feel much motivation to do that. Right, we're going to go in here and check this one first. I say that we should check this one last. This is my favourite bedroom. This is like almost a 10 out of 10 if I didn't leave these stupid glowstone all over the floor. But then, yeah, this is really nice in here. Really nice in here. This is such a pet hate of mine. I can't believe I left that. Makes me think, has something happened in here? Is water spread or something? It looks like it possibly could have done. No, it hasn't. What was I thinking in here with this floor? This is a funky floor. But then, right, oh, damn. Right, moving on in here, and yeah, these bathrooms, I nailed these bathrooms. For such a small space, I just think these just absolutely work. I would be giving top points to anyone. This is the standard, guys. This is what you have to work to, so just keep your bathrooms nice, neat, put as much context in there as possible. And it just works with these sort of colours. I say that you'll see a bathroom in a set that works with different colours, but yeah, this is really nice. I think this was before we had smooth courts. This would look epic in smooth courts, but yeah, this is a nice little bathroom. Right. Okay, our next bedroom is this one along here. And this is the kids' room. Yet more loads of context. Now, if this was a normal room, then I would say, God, this is hideous. But all these posters kind of make sense. You can see it's a kids' room. There's toys all over the floor. Bunk beds. These are people that need to learn what contraception is. Clearly, how many kids have we got here? We've got 14 kids. Yeah, that is a disaster. But yeah, we've got. But yeah, this is a really nice bathroom, and I really think this bathroom is too nice for kids. You know, look at the state they keep their bedroom in. This bathroom is just too nice. This would be a cool bathroom, wouldn't it? But yeah, these bathrooms I do really like them. I hate that glowstone. What was I thinking? Oh God. And they didn't even need to be there. This is the irritating thing. This would have been lit up to hell because we've got bloody sea lanterns back there. They make no sense. Right, moving on. And then this room, this was a bit, I struggled to fill this one if I remember rightly. And then you've got the bathroom back here. Another nice bathroom. That really works, that little nook there. It's so weird. You just wouldn't have thought that would work, but through trial and error, that wasn't something where I looked at this space and I thought, yeah, I'm going to put a jacuzzi there with this weird nook in the corner. That was kind of an afterthought, and yeah, it was just, yeah, I really like it. But yeah, moving on. But yeah, and then we got the thing through there, but we've already seen that in the tour. We don't need to rate that room. But then we're going to carry on. Oh, right, we're going upstairs now, so going up to these rooms. Okie doke, so with the Roman shower, banging, love it, really cool. Loads of good use of slabs and stuff. I was really chuffed with how this turned out. Bit sad that they changed the distance at what snow melts at, because this was a sofa, and yeah, and so is this, and the light has just become, I think what it is, it's not to do with how close it was to them, it's to do with how much light is let out through these half blocks. I think that's what they changed. So it changed the light in this area, and all of this melted, unfortunately. So yeah, I just put the quartz block sofas in there now. But yeah, nice room. Then we've got another nice room up here. And yeah, this is really, really nice. I'm really chuffed with how this turned out up here. I think I could have probably gone with different coloured sofas though, looking at it. Well, it's very subjective, isn't it? It's very subjective, but it's now I'm looking at it. I don't know, they look alright. But this is cool. Blatantly obvious what it is. Anyone that doesn't know what this is can't work out what is going on up here. Then, yeah, they're not very interpretive. But then, yeah, we're going to move on to the final bedroom. And to finish on a dull note, with the bedrooms, we're not finished yet. Yeah, this is. I could have done so much better. This, I don't know. Yeah, and a bit public this, isn't it? Somebody could come and gander at you taking your, just sat here. Somebody could come up and watch you taking a poo, couldn't they? Yeah, it just doesn't make sense. I'm not keen on that one. This was poorly thought out layout. I would have been better off putting the toilet somewhere else, because when I do put in toilets and stuff, believe it or not, I do think about the view. Are you going to be spied on going for a shower or going for a poo? Do you know what I mean? Yeah, and I do think about these things, and this is poorly conceived. But yeah, so we're going to move on to the more exciting part of the build, the basement. Right, so we're going to move on down here, down into this funky ass basement. Now, first off, we're going to head to the Atlantis Spa. Now, Atlantis Spa, I have to say, as beautiful as it is. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm seeming really picky here, because this is stunning, right? I was so chuffed with how this turned out. In terms of especially certain things, look at that. I love how that changes. It gets to a darker blue as it goes down, light blue to darker blue. It makes it feel like we're underwater, which we are. But at the same time, this doesn't make sense. This bit, I think I should have kept it as this chamber here, and shouldn't have gone up there. I feel it got a bit too much the moment it went up here. I feel like this is the point where it started to get a bit too much. And to be honest with you, with this whole basement, I love the basement, but would this really exist under a sort of classic elven mansion? Would it? I don't know. And this on the other side, especially not. However, I do love this. It's a great build. It's one of these. It's another one of these. I see a lot of builds, It's like when somebody builds this really beautiful little mansion and then builds a wall that is just way too big around the outside. They build a castle wall around the outside of a mansion. And this is kind of what this did. I gave too much on this one. And it just looks over the top. You wouldn't get this in a mansion basement, but at the same time, this is a cool club. Let's not diss it too much, because that is cool. In a club setting, this would be excellent. And I quite like my discipline in sticking with these. It was so often I was tempted to change out to, because I changed these to wood. These were wood. I was using a few different materials in it. And then I got to the point I decided, right, no, it looks a lot better with just the plain, whatever it is, nether brick. And I went with it. But it is nice, but out of context, in my honest opinion. And downstairs, more of the same, just going with the same theme. And more over the topness. And if that wasn't over the top enough, but oh god, it does look cool. There's no two ways about it. This is just, it's epically cool down here, but slapped onto the bottom of a mansion like this, does it make sense? And my opinion is no. So I'm going into the little toilets. This is one of the nicest toilets I've built, and does that not work? That is just so cool. If you went into a toilet and this was at one end of the room, you would be buzzed, wouldn't you? It's seriously cool. But anyhow, let's move on. Girls' toilets, similar bang, but with no fire. We've just got a wall. But I do really like how these toilets turned out. But and then moving on to the last bit, which is in here, which is the pole dancing area, whatever that activity is. It looks good and it suits. The thing is, it does get dark at the moment you come in here. You've got like a slightly, out here slightly lighter, go in here it's slightly more seedy, isn't it? And it kind of works. But I still think, as I said, this down here, it's just a step too far, isn't it, mate? I thought. That's what I thought. Precisely my sentiments. But anyhow, let's go out and let's give this place a score, shall we? Okay, so let's look back and have a little review of what we've looked at, shall we? So, with the exterior. Now, as I said, I just feel that it feels a bit like slap bang. It's like it's just fell from space, It doesn't feel like it hasn't integrated well into the landscape. So as I said, I was going to dock points for that. This would be remedied with trees, bit of landscaping around the outside, and just to give it almost like a clean canvas that this then sits on. Whereas this just feels like a really dirty canvas, then with a beautiful picture painted in the middle of it. And as I said, I just feel that could be improved. And so the points would be docked off for that. I mean, despite the level 10 gardening going on in there, I feel that a lot of that, and especially, as I said, these, does it make sense? And what would a house have these? As I said, maybe if I put ruined walls, so it looked like, it looked like it was built into the corner of an old ruins of a castle. It was one bit that was preserved. Maybe that would make it look better, and then that coupled with some trees and stuff around the outside, maybe I'd let that slide. But what I'm not going to let slide is this weird bloody bit out here, and that just looks odd, and especially next to that's a great looking exterior with this. It's just strange. It's strange. It's like having a beautiful woman with a nipple on her forehead, but I just don't like it. So outside we're going to give this. Am I being too tight with a 7? Am I being too tight with a 7? I tell you what, being as it's my build, I'm going to go with a 7, and then it gives me the excuse to be absolutely brutal with everyone else's builds. But yeah, so moving on, we're going to go inside, and we're going to talk about the interiors. So interiors, as I said, I mean, you can't really go much further on detailing. I've really, and don't get me wrong, I went to a point, felt like I'd gone too far, and then came back to this point, which is what I often do when it comes to interiors. Keep going to the point you've gone too far and then take some away. And I still think I could have probably, I don't know. I don't feel it's overdone. I feel some places are a little bit overdone. And we have a few sort of lapses, obviously, in here. Dog crap. This would knock it down to a 9 instantly. Just it's so ugly. But so yeah, we're already on a 9 for interiors. And then when we're talking about context of the interior, that basement, the TV room, the library, excusable, but I feel that down in the basement, as beautiful as the basement is, I feel that it's out of context, and I don't think it suits the build. And so I'm going to have to knock points off for that. So I think we're going to come down to an 8. So we've got a 7 on the exterior, an 8 on the interior. So what are we averaging out there as? We're at 7.5 if my maths are correct. So yeah, we're going to give this build a 7.5. Now, I would, as I said, with the redstone, because I put a little bit of redstone in there, I'm going to let this slide. I'm going to let it slide that I'm not going to call this no redstone, because I did try, and that's all it takes. And it was, I know it doesn't really do a lot, a couple of doors down the bottom and a little bit up there, but it's I'm going to let it slide. I'm not going to knock any points off for lack of redstone. So yeah, this is a 7.5. Beardy's mansion is a 7.5. So I will be looking on Planet Minecraft for potential best mansions ever, and obviously this is totally subjective. It's my own personal opinion. But then I'm going to be trawling there looking for decent mansions for us to review and seeing what the community has built. If you do have a mansion that you want me to review, then by all means I will gladly have a look at it for you. And I'll try not to be horrible. I know I've been quite horrible with my one, but then it's my one, so I feel like I can be. But then we want to be tight, we're looking for the best of the best in this series. So yeah, I'm going to be very, very tight on my scores. But yeah, anyway, I think we're going to leave it there. And I've been Beardy Blocks. You look after yourselves. Bye-bye.
Beardy Blocks.